Back in January 2025, Vermont Rail System announced they were looking to reopen the former Mountain Division line from Hazens in Whitefield, New Hampshire to St Johnsbury, Vermont. They had purchased the New Hampshire Central Railroad in April of 2024, which gave them rights to the old mill site in Gilman, Vermont, but they would need to acquire the rights to operate from Gilman to St Johnsbury for the full plan. Because of this, their current plan is to at least get to Gilman first, and the rest would follow. In addition to the Mountain Division, VRS is looking to reopen the former Boston and Maine Line south from Whitefield to Bethlehem, New Hampshire. This track has potential for railcar storage, but there's apparently some interest to move freight on it as well. This line will be covered in a different future video, so stay tuned for that. Back to the Mountain Division, the line to Gilman hasn't been used since the 1990s, and it otherwise has looked abandoned since then. While the line looks abandoned, it legally isn't, as it is technically out of service, but that doesn't make much of a difference to the average person. What this means, though, is that it will be an easier reactivation process for the railroad. An article from January 2025 indicated that some of the freight potential on the line is in lumber. The article states the Burlington-based Vermont Rail System (VRS) plan involves eventually connecting to St Johnsbury to move commodities such as timber and wood products and tap into the Class 1 railroad. Currently, VRS has the operating rights from Groveton down to Gilman and to Wing Road in Bethlehem. Some customers are interested in moving both inbound and outbound lumber and log-type products, and as the project advances, VRS would move the product and others, if asked. Work has started in Whitefield as far as clearing, but this video will focus on the line to Gilman. I actually started filming this video in Gilman and worked my way toward Whitefield, so we'll start at the old mill site. Not much seems to go on here today, but the mill site seems available for potential freight rail users. The former Georgia Pacific Mill closed, rail service stopped in the late 1990s, and since then the tracks have sat dormant. The mill has been repurposed to be used for its hydroelectricity power, but it seems no industrial activity still happens here. I believe Vermont Rail's plan is to make the mill site more attractive for businesses to locate here with the restored rail access. I wouldn't be surprised if they already have some potential customers in mind to generate freight traffic, whether they locate at the mill or simply transload here. These scenes show the mill site as it was in early April 2025. Making our way east, we follow the line to various locations. Here we see the switch for the Gilman mill covered by overgrowth. Just past the switch is another turnout that was part of a siding, likely used to run around trains here when they came into or left the paper mill. Continuing on, we find a significant washout where a bridge once was. This is one of the several major issues to be dealt with before trains return. Here is the railroad bridge in Dalton, New Hampshire that spans the Connecticut River. The bridge connects the two states of New Hampshire and Vermont here, and overall the bridge seems to be in decent condition, but we'll have to see what work Vermont Rail does to it to get it back into service. As we continue toward Whitefield, we come across the two crossings of Route 302, where the NH Department of Transportation has regraded the highway. Because of this, the rail in the crossing has been removed, and it seems as though the track restoration at these two locations would be a big undertaking. Note how clear the track is on both sides of the crossing. I'm told a previous operator of the line kept it weed sprayed and cut, likely in hopes of serving the Gilman mill site if it ever reopened. We finally reach Whitefield, where the famous ball signals guard the diamond with the B&M. Here some brush cutting and other work has been done, but we'll focus on that in another video. Stay tuned for future updates on this line, as well as for more videos from this trip when I explored the Mountain Division from St Johnsbury and the B&M line to Bethlehem. If all goes well, both of these lines are to be eventually restored by VTR for rail use. For more information, please check out the video description where there are links to more info on this line.